Okay, so in this lecture, we're going to take a look at the cheat sheet for functions, which is actually under base R. So if you go over here in the cheat sheet, in the ultimate cheat sheet, you'll see the CS next to base R. We're just going to want to click that. And that's going to download a file. You're just going to click open. So this is the cheat sheet for base R. And what we can see is it's got a lot of good stuff in here. So for those that aren't familiar with base R, this is all of the functionality that comes right with R without loading any packages. So you've got things like library for loading packages, you've got get working directory functions, you have ways of subsetting and selecting vectors, you've got how to create vectors with functions like sequence, repeat, and so on. What we're going to be focusing on in this chapter is programming, and in this first section what we're going to be looking at is if statements and actually functions, because we're going to be building functions. So this is the cheat sheet area that you're going to want to focus in on, and we're going to be creating functions, we're going to be controlling the flow with if statements, and in the next section what we're going to be doing is talking about iteration. We're going to talk a little bit about the for loop, but we're really going to be talking about another set of functionality called purrr, which is really cool. And then if we see at the second page here, so what we have is, again, more good information. We've got some of the functionality that we've already seen for classes. So for converting between different data types, we've got as logical, as numeric, as character, and as factor. Some math functionality such as and these are all vectorized functions, which we'll learn about. They all have x in here, you can see. So you've got log of x, exponent of x, max x, min x, and so on. Sum, mean, median, quantile, rank, variance, standard deviation, and correlation. And then we have working with matrices, which we won't really talk about too much. Lists are very good to know, and we'll talk about those once we get to purrr, because purrr allows us to iterate through lists. And then you're familiar with the data frame already. We use the Tibble, so you don't need to know too much here. Strings, we use stringr. Factors, we use forcats. Statistics, we will be using the lm function in the modeling section. And then there's distributions here, so these are some good functionality. I know that the normal distribution is one that everyone really uses a lot. rnorm for creating random normals, qnorm for getting the quantile between normals, and so on. So at the end of the day, what we're really going to be focusing in on here is creating functions and doing some programming, and that's what we're going to be getting started here with.